We all face hard decisions throughout our lives. Do we admit our mistakes or create excuses? Do we follow through on commitments or let them slide? These decisions might seem small individually, but together they form a pattern that defines who we are. At the center of these choices lies accountability, a powerful habit that shapes not only our personal development but our relationships and lives as well. Accountability simply means taking ownership of our actions and their consequences. It's acknowledging our role in both our successes and failures. While this concept may sound straightforward, its impact on our lives is profound and far-reaching. Accountability functions as a mirror of our integrity, reflecting back who we truly are rather than who we pretend to be. When we practice accountability, we create a connection between our words and actions. We align what we say with what we do. This alignment requires honesty, often uncomfortable honesty. It means facing our shortcomings without defensiveness. It means admitting when we've made poor choices. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but rather clear-eyed self-awareness. Without this awareness, meaningful growth becomes nearly impossible. Consider how differently situations unfold when accountability is present. A project fails at work. The accountable person acknowledges their part in the failure and identifies ways to improve next time. The unaccountable person points fingers, makes excuses, or minimizes their responsibility. Which one are you? Nothing builds trust more effectively than consistent accountability. When someone follows through on commitments, admits mistakes, and takes responsibility for their actions, we naturally trust them more. Think about the people in your life who you trust the most. Chances are they demonstrate accountability regularly. They do what they say they'll do. They admit when they fall short. They don't hide behind excuses or blame others when things go wrong. This trust forms the foundation of all healthy relationships, professional, personal, and everything in between. In workplaces, accountable team members create environments where collaboration flourishes because people can depend on each other. In families, accountability fosters mutual respect and stability. In communities, it builds the trust necessary for group action. The absence of accountability has the opposite effect. When excuses become normal, trust fades very quickly. One person's lack of accountability sometimes triggers a domino effect, giving others permission to avoid responsibility also. Teams become dysfunctional, relationships strain, and communities fragment. Many people mistakenly view accountability as limiting, a burden that limits their freedom. In reality, the opposite is true. Accountability is liberating. When we lack accountability, we surrender control over our lives. We become passive participants, acted upon by external forces. Bad outcomes become something that happened to us rather than results of our own choices. This victim mindset is profoundly disabling. In contrast, embracing accountability means accepting responsibility for our own actions, our own decisions. While we can't control every circumstance, we always control our responses. This perspective shifts us from passive to active, from helpless to empowered. We stop wasting energy on blame and excuses and redirect that energy toward solutions and growth. Consider financial management as an example. The person who blames the economy, their employer, or bad luck for their financial struggles remains stuck. The person who acknowledges their spending habits and financial choices can make specific choices to improve their situation. Accountability opens doors to possibility, where excuse-making builds walls. Individual accountability creates effects far beyond personal growth. It ripples outward, influencing everyone around us. Organizations with accountable leaders typically develop cultures where responsibility influences their team's decisions. Families with accountable parents tend to raise children who understand the connection between choices and outcomes. Communities with accountable members address problems directly, rather than allowing them to grow and spread. Surrounding ourselves with accountable people makes it easier to maintain our own accountability. Surrounding ourselves with excuse-making, irresponsible people can have an opposite effect. This understanding gives our personal choices added significance. When we practice accountability, we're not just improving our own lives, we're contributing to a culture of responsibility that benefits everyone. Each accountable choice creates a small but meaningful shift in our lives and our world. Like any worthwhile habit, you develop accountability through consistent practice. Here are practical approaches to strengthen this habit. Start with awareness. Notice when you're tempted to make excuses or place blame. Simply recognizing these moments creates space for different choices. Watch how you speak. Replace phrases like, "I couldn't do it" with, "I chose not to do it," and "I have to" with, "I'm choosing to." This small linguistic shift reinforces your own power to choose. Make commitments carefully and keep them religiously. Be realistic about what you can accomplish, then follow through consistently. Better to make fewer promises and keep them all than to make promises that you can't keep. Embrace discomfort. Accountability often feels uncomfortable in the beginning. That's normal. Recognize that this discomfort is temporary and productive, leading to growth. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge when you make responsible choices, especially difficult ones. Positive reinforcement strengthens any habit. Accountability requires courage. It means facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It means standing in the spotlight of responsibility when it would be easier to hide in the shadows of excuse-making. This courage doesn't develop overnight. It grows gradually through practice. Each time we choose accountability over avoidance, we strengthen our capacity for responsibility. Over time, what once seemed difficult becomes second nature. This courage manifests differently across different situations. Sometimes it means offering a sincere apology. Other times, it means making difficult changes in order to honor commitments. Always, it means choosing what's right over what's easy. Consider the difference between these responses to a missed deadline. I got overwhelmed with other priorities and didn't manage my time effectively. I take full responsibility, and I'm trying to fix the problem. Versus everything's crazy right now, and I had so many other things dumped on me. Plus, the instructions weren't very clear. The first response requires courage. The second takes the path of least resistance. Each day, our choices contribute to the legacy we're creating. This legacy exists in the memories of those we interact with, in the culture of organizations we're part of, and in the impact we have on our communities. People who consistently practice accountability earn respect. They build reputations for integrity. They develop influence that extends beyond them. Most importantly, they create positive change, first in themselves, then in others. This doesn't require perfection. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone falls short sometimes. The accountable person acknowledges these failures, learns from them, and recommits to doing better. This cycle of responsibility and growth defines a life well lived. Accountability isn't just a personal virtue, it's a transformative habit that shapes everything it touches. It turns words into actions, intentions into results, and potential into achievement. In a world that often encourages blame and excuse-making, choosing accountability represents a quiet but powerful form of leadership. The choice is always ours. Will we own our actions and their consequences, or will we look for someone else or something else to blame? How we answer this question day after day determines not just who we become, but the world that we help create.